Good evening, guys. Thank you for joining the Travel and Life show. Today is going to be a super exciting show. We already have 3 viewers, so I appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to hit the a big thumbs up. And today's guest, they've traveled the world. Uh, they've done so much. They have their own YouTube channel. Obviously, they do 2 releases per week. We're gonna meet them, and it's gonna be one heck of a show. So we got 5 viewers. So thank you all for joining. Before I kick off, let's do some what's coming up next. So you all know on Monday I got this fine gentleman by the name of Travis who owns his own YouTube channel. He's gonna be with us. I'm gonna play his video right now. The guy is a sick filmmaker, and the way he edits his videos, it's next level. Uh, I used to look up to Cone a lot, who's another YouTuber, but this guy is just as good. So let me just play his introduction video so you guys can see what he has to offer for us. Obviously, the guy travels, he lives in a van, so we're gonna talk quite a bit about all that. So I'm gonna stop this intro and I'm gonna get to travel.
My name is Travis Cosentino and I live in my van. I've been doing van life for about a year now and I love it. This channel is going to be about vlogging. It's going to be about my life, traveling on the road as a filmmaker and photographer. Van life is connection. I got into this life because I wanted to meet people. I would not be where I am today if it weren't for the people that I met on the road. These people have come through for me in ways that I could have never imagined, and I am eternally grateful for it. That to me is my bread and butter. That's what I get the most out of it, is just kind of learning their personal story and then telling it. And believe it or not,
Now, I said he actually reviewed one of my videos and he gave me a ton of feedback, which was really helpful in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you will learn a lot. Again, I won't be paying attention to the chat for a bit, guys. I'm very clumsy when it comes to multitasking, so I want to focus. I got my notepad ready with all the interview questions for my guest. For all of you, once again, thank you, and I will make sure to put all the description that I miss. But you can actually go to my description, see their YouTube channel, and my hope really is we help each other. You guys pay a visit, subscribe, watch their videos. You know the drill. You help each other. So I just quickly want to address. So my next guest for Monday is on the show right now. He's on live chat. Travis, I messaged you maybe half an hour before the show, thinking that maybe it's a good idea that I message him now. So thank you for making the time to join, guys. He's with us. Again, I'm looking forward to chatting about life, how it feels to live in a van, and also lots of chatter about filmmaking and editing. So thank you, Travis. I appreciate you dropping by. Now, shout outs. When you guys come to my channel, you know the drill. If you go scroll down, you will see a bunch of channels that I support. I try to update them regularly. Please, they all release video on a regular basis. Please pay a visit, watch their video, give them your support. It's important. I don't have Travis on there yet, but I'll make sure to have it ready for next week. So today's show is actually fun because I'm not stressed at all. I'm not worried about making mistakes or whatever. We're just gonna have fun, and it's gonna be done over some drinks. So we decided that we're gonna do Heineken. So this couple, their channel is called Sundays with Hart. once again, you have the description on my you have the channel on my description, and it's Brian and Leanne. So they're pretty awesome. I fell in love with how they sketch their intros on every single videos. They have some sort of theme that goes on. So that's what caught my attention, and that what makes me go watch their video. I follow them on Facebook, so as soon as they update, I think I'm probably like one of the first one to go like, and I will at least watch the first minute because I'm always interested in knowing what kind of sketch they're running. Now, I have an unexpected guest live with me today. His name is Francis. He's from a different province. Freaking guy came here for a visit and called me at the last minute to say he was here. So I had to invite him. Francis, you want to come and say hi to my guest? Nice guy. You gotta make... Okay, sure. There's a delay there. Thank you, sir. He's gonna stick around with me for the next half an hour. He's gonna watch me, do my craziness, and then discreetly he's gonna leave, or I'm gonna kick him out. So I think I'm ready to bring my my guest. So I have with me Brian and Leanne. So let me just go back to my studio and turn on the camera. So let's turn off my main intro and turn on the camera. Hello, Leanne. I gotta make sure I turn your sound on. Leanne, sound on. All right. Whoa.
Hi, Nathan. Thank you so much for having us.
Hello, hello. Where is Brian?
You know Brian, he's always late.
Oh, there you go. He pulled off another.
Auf Wiedersehen. I am here for the Heineken tasting.
Hello. You said goodbye, not hello, right?
Yes, in this time of COVID, it is always more polite to say goodbye, for you may not know if you ever speak to them again.
Okay.
Do I get to interview the real Brian at some point?
Possibly.
Brian is involved with the sheep right now.
But Heineken is a beer, right? Drinking Heineken, it's a beer, right? You don't have a champagne glass for
Hans
Heineken.
Franhauser Eck Heineken always drinks with a champagne glass. So if we must do this,
Here, let me give you some
do
beer
it
then.
properly.
And for those who are on the show watching us, you guys are more than welcome to throw your questions. Whenever I get a chance to go through it, I guarantee you I will go through and I'll get my guests to respond. So Mr. Hans and Leanne, thank you very much for taking the time to join my show. It's really appreciated.
I don't have much time. I am very busy as an artist. I am a performance artist from Frankfurt.
I want you to continue the sketch with me for the next hour at least. It's my humble request. I'm going off script here, but just so you guys know, I already had one beer with my colleague here, and I'm on my second one. So we're gonna really take this cool. We got 10 people watching this live, so thank you guys once again. Leanne and Brian.
Just one beer. I had 30.
Oh yeah,
The flight from Frankfurt was quite long.
you guys are 2 hours behind me, or behind. I'm Eastern Standard, right? So again, thank you for taking the time to join in. So you guys are a well-traveled couple. So my notes here, I have you guys been to Indonesia. By the way, my buddy here is married to an Indonesian girl. You've been to New Zealand,
Oh, nice.
Australia, Malaysia, and you were going to list me a bunch of other countries before I say, no, Leanne, that's enough, that's good. So
most of the countries Brian hasn't been to. I did most of my traveling when I was in the military before I met Brian. So
So if we're not doing the beer tasting,
no, we're not.
then
doing
I
the
will
beer
go away
tasting.
and see if Brian wants to
I
come
will
on the
provide.
camera.
Thank you.
I will be back.
Oh my gosh, we're sorry.
This is awesome.
He's
We're
crazy
having
right now.
fun, boys and girls.
What? What's
to the
up,
show,
everybody?
Brian. Thank you.
When well-planned skits don't always work out, you just have to go with it. Am I right?
Yeah.
But I still have my champagne glass, and I still have some Heineken.
You go with the flow.
So
When I watch your videos, I see
go.
that when you guys doing your sketch, you will look at each other, and then I think Brian or Leanne goes off script, but then you guys still pursue. Again, you guys are natural, and again, that really appeals to me. So I look forward to seeing you guys. So again, guys, I'll say this for the last time. Thank you for being on my show. So Leanne, you just mentioned that.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
We really appreciate it. It's an honor to be here.
Pleasure. So Leanne,
Yes.
you did quite a bit of traveling, and unfortunately it was not with Brian, but I'm still interested. So tell me, I know you were in the military, so walk me through all the countries that you've been and all the experiences that you've had.
So I'll just do like the main ones because I've been to over 30 countries. I lose track sometimes, but some of the highlights, I was stationed in Germany for 4 years at 2 different bases, and in the late 80s and during to Italy and the former Yugoslavia and Switzerland and Austria and Liechtenstein and Luxembourg and just all the countries that were, France and the Netherlands and all these countries when I was stationed there. And then I got stationed in California, and I got deployed during Desert Storm, and I went to Diego Garcia, which is part of the British Indian Ocean Territory. And then I got stationed in Okinawa. And when I was stationed in Okinawa, I went to Malaysia and Thailand and Australia, and I think that was it. Oh, yeah, I think that was it. And then I got stationed in Korea, and then I went to Indonesia and Malaysia and Thailand again, and then I got stationed in Hawaii.
Hans loves Thailand.
And that's where I met Brian, was in Hawaii.
In Thailand.
Ooh. Oh! I didn't know that. We did not even talk about.
We met in Hawaii.
You met him in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a whole story to that.
Yeah, because
She was at the end of a bar.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Okay, go on.
He was born and raised in Hawaii, and there was this band that I like to go watch on Saturdays, and they had opened for Van Halen, God rest Eddie's soul, and they were going to move to the States because Eddie Van Halen liked them, and he was going to try to help them. And so this was the last time they were going to play at the bar that I used to hang out at. And Brian decided that he was going to go that night too.
I was working like 80 hours, 90 hours a week. I was exhausted, and I was going to go. And it's a whole long story about the Hawaii, the music scene in Hawaii and the rock music scene. And I grew up in the punk scene in Hawaii and all this. So it's kind of a long story. I won't get into it. But I wanted to go see this band because I had heard about them, never seen them. And I know from all these other bands that I used to associate with, when you go and tour and all this and you come back to Hawaii, that's it, you're kaput, which I was proven right eventually. So it was, I wanted to go. So like literally I got off of work and I cleaned up and I got in my car and I started to back out of the driveway and I said, no, I'm done. I'm exhausted. Put the car back in, turned it off, had one leg out, right? And something told me to go, right? So I was like, so I went begrudgingly, whatever. So of course, being from Hawaii, I know people. So, I get to this bar, which I had actually never been to, believe it or not. I kind of at that point in my life, I wasn't really going bars and stuff a lot. And then the old bars that I went to, they were kind of kaputs and, so anyways, I walk in and I walk by and I see her. She's the first girl that I see, and she's at the end of the bar and the light's hitting her. So it was very kind of Casablanca and everything, and her eyes. But I walked by, and then I was single at that time. There was a flower girl, a couple other girls, but I was pretty much single, and I saw a couple people that I knew from high school. What's up? And then I went back and I noticed that she had a knee brace on, so it was
his in.
kind of an in, right? You know, so hey, how do you do it? What happened to your knee? And so I asked her, you know, and
my answer,
the answer
is what got him.
was what?
Because the answer was what got him. I said I injured it skiing in Germany.
Well, you said you injured it skiing.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, okay, Mauna Loa, which is Mauna Kea, my bad, which is the highest volcano on the Big Island of Hawaii. It was like, okay, there's no snow up there. I know that. I mean, like, there's no
ski there, but
very rarely, but once in, like about in December for like 2 days. So I was like, where did you injure it? Skiing, thinking it was going to be Aspen or something.
And when I said Germany, that really like caught his eye or his ear, whatever you want to say, because flying from Hawaii to go skiing in Europe is like a big thing. Especially for somebody that hadn't really been anywhere. So
that's how we met. And then I don't know. I think that was kind of
the train wreck began.
And the train wreck, yes, the train wreck began. Yes, definitely. So yeah, that's
how long ago
in
was
gist.
this, guys?
There's so much to it.
Years?
1998.
Yeah,
Oh,
1998.
So the train wreck's been going on for a while now then.
Yeah. And the band broke up almost about 2 years after, but we're still going strong.
Well, I'm very pleased to hear this.
Alcohol.
Yeah. Well, it takes a lot of this, right? I think in any marriage, you need a lot of this. I hope my wife is not listening to me, and you're laughing at this. I'm gonna get in trouble for this show. Now,
no,
Leanne, you talked about the
marriage is a.
Go ahead, Brian.
Sorry. Well, marriage is a team. So when you got your star player with you. That person, hopefully, you're their star player, and marriage is a team, and that's what makes it work. If you approach life like as a team of two, and then maybe a team of 3 and 4 and whatever, how your kids or whatever, but that's your team, and it's just you and that person and your family against the world. And if you look at it from that perspective, it really does kind of ease some of the trials and tribulations
and the arguments that we have before we do a show.
Listen, I mean, I say this every show. I'm thankful to my wife too, because she put up with a lot of crap that I make her go through. So we should be lucky that these ladies are nice enough to really put up with our crap. That's how I see it. I don't know, Brian, you'd agree with me, right?
No, it's all skill and no. I'm sorry.
Now, Leanne, you talked about the 30 plus countries that you've been to but by yourself. But can you tell me about countries that you guys both been to?
So
New
Zealand and Mexico, and then we were stationed in Italy for 3 years.
Listen, I want to talk to you about New Zealand, but my love goes to Italy right away. So where did you guys stay in Italy, and what are all the famous places that you've visited? Let's see if I can.
So I was stationed with NATO in Naples, and that was somewhat. So at the time, I was getting my master's degree in international relations, and when we first got there, we were sitting waiting for the bus outside the NATO headquarters there, and we were just like blown away to think that this little girl that grew up in Idaho headquarters getting a master's degree in international relations, and it was an amazing experience for both of us. And for Italy specifically, of course, we went to Rome, we went to Pompeii, we went to Capri, Tuscany,
is,
Florence. It's just an amazing country, and the food is just fabulous. It's definitely different than the food that you get in the States. It's an amazing experience. So I highly recommend people to go to Italy. It's just an amazing experience.
It's a crazy thing, but I caught on the fact that you guys been to Pompeii. I've been to Italy twice. I never did Pompeii. Can you tell me about your experience visiting Pompeii?
So you need to tell this story because it's hilarious.
Well, I think you know what. Well, no.
Well, that dude. I mean, oh my gosh.
So there was some little historical in it. Well, okay, we'll just do the funny part, and then I'll tell you my actual like experience about. And Capri is actually really where I would rather talk about, but I will talk about Pompeii and my. But no, the funny little thing is the historical inaccuracies on behalf of the actual science professor of history, geologist that was doing a tour. And one of them was the fact that part of Pompeii's problems was that it had AIDS brought to them by Americans, which was, I thought, kind of interesting because I was like,
because AIDS nor America existed in 70.
They were the picks and balls about that time in Britain, and in America was just Native American Indians hunting buffaloes and doing their thing. And then, yeah, no, I don't I don't think America existed, but that's all right. But for experience,
it was really amazing.
Yeah, I think the thing that resonates with me, this is a city that has stood the test of time despite being completely covered. And when I say that, yes, it's been unearthed, but it was unearthed because like the way that the Pompeians, the Romans lived in that moment is still on full display. To include, is the lead piping still running water, and that's what. So when you go to when you go to some of the homes, so Pompeii had a very magnificent water system, and it was all lead sheeting.
It was a modern city for its time.
Rolled in the piping and then run underground. So like one of the houses that you go to is in their kitchen area that they have. Because like the rooms, the little estates are kind of divided up into these different. So there's the kitchen area. But anyways, what's important is that the fountain and then like the kitchen sink, the water was always running. So like they have it restored, so it's running. So like you can kind of sit there in front of this sink and like this cooking area and be like, this is how they live. They cook, they wash their dishes. This is where they got water. And then they had the center court fountain, right, in these little, like they're kind of like a, there's kind like a little,
hacienda
like a hacienda style, right? All the buildings are around, and there's like a little, and that's all Pompeii is mostly made up of, these little haciendas, just like and so you're sitting there like, holy shit, the water, the pipe still works, it's still running, and it's I think that's what resonated with me is like
how it's still the same way thousands of years after, right?
Yeah, like it. Yeah, you could. I mean, there was one estate that we went to. It's like where like they have like the rich. They take you to the rich district, and they take you.
But
to
they also took you to where the prostitutes were.
Yeah, they take you. But like, there's this one estate was so perfectly preserved. Like, I mean, you can move in. I mean, you got to re-roof and do a few things, but you could. I
wanted to move there.
The water's running. I mean, set up your tent in the courtyard and like life is good. I mean, it's just that's what resonated. Yeah.
And it's funny. I was reading on CNN News the other day where there was an article about a Canadian girl. She must have been to Pompeii when she was in her early 20s, and she stole a bunch of artifacts, and she just recently returned it. That's because she says her life has been cursed for the last 10-15 years. So
saw that.
I've been twice, but never got a chance to go to Pompeii, and there's a bunch of other areas in Italy that I would love to one day visit. So I mean,
we lived there for 3 years and we still didn't see it all. There's just so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I've lived in the United States my whole life and I haven't seen it all. So there's so many nuances to a country. And for me, when I go to a country for the first time, one of the first things that I like to do is go to a grocery store or a market, because you really learn what the culture is like through their food and how they live.
Yeah.
And so every time I go to a new country, I always go to a market or a grocery store, even if it's just like a little bodega or something,
Just to see.
because I want to know what they're eating and what they're drinking and how they're living their everyday lives, because that's how you really understand the culture that you're immersed in at that moment.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
again, you're right. You just said it correctly. 3 years and you still have a lot to explore. And I've been there twice. And last year was a quick 4-hour trip. So I drove from Croatia into Venice just to show my son,
Okay.
and my daughter wanted to see how that experience was. So and then we came back. So it's not like I spent much time. The next destination I want to ask you is New Zealand. Me and my wife been talking about Australia, New Zealand, Australia, New Zealand. We never got a chance to do it, and this COVID-19 put a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Tell me about New Zealand. How was it? When did you guys go? What did you guys do? How was it?
So that was our very first major trip together. We were still dating. We'd only been together about a year.
No. No.
And we were still stationed in Hawaii. And that was the most, and this is even before The Hobbit was filmed, so there wasn't any of that that hype around it.
Right.
So we spent 2 weeks there. One of the things that that you need to know before anybody goes to New Zealand is that they're very strict about what is imported. So a lot of people go to hike, which was what we were doing.
So yeah, we backpacked. So that's like kind of the first thing to mention is that we went with packs on our back. Yeah.
And so they will take everything apart on your luggage because they don't want any foreign organisms brought in. And so this was before the internet even, and I had read this on a like a Froder's guide or something, that everything has to be spotless clean, like your shoes, everything have to be spotless, and no dairy products. There's a lot of restrictions. Wow. So that's the first thing I want to say. It's very strict. So if you do plan on going to New Zealand, which I highly recommend,
pack carefully.
Pack carefully and read the laws before you go, because they take everything apart. They read the stuff on your dried food.
Yeah. Freeze-dried food.
They read the labels and everything. So do your research before you go. But please go. It's a beautiful country. We went to both islands.
Yep.
We hiked the Abel Tasman,
Yep.
which was a 3-day hike. That was my first multiple day trip. We went to Wellington and Auckland and Rotorua. We went to Waitomo, to the caves. It's just this, it's so green. And we were coming from Hawaii, which is very green. And we were blown away about how green it was there, because it was more green in New Zealand than it was in Hawaii. And you wouldn't think that, but it was just this, and the people are so friendly. This girl,
unless you're rooting for someone other than the All Blacks, which is their rugby team.
But so we were looking for a
rugby team sucks. No, I'm just joking. Sorry, New Zealand.
For a restaurant, and this woman. This is, like I said, it was before the internet and stuff, and well, before it got really popular. Right. And we were looking for a restaurant, and this woman, she was on her lunch break and went out of her way 3 blocks to show us where this restaurant was. Wow. The people are amazing.
Yeah, they're really amazing.
So nice, and
it's a great time. It's a relatively safe trip, unless you
are stupid.
Yeah, unless you like root for like Germany over the New Zealand team and stuff like that. I mean, then you might have a problem. But no, it was a great experience.
It was one of the best experiences that I've ever had.
Definitely go.
And we did hostels.
We did the train. We went from.
That was kind of a little bit of a nightmare.
The train was from Auckland to Wellington, which was overnight.
Yeah, it was an overnight. That was exhausting.
Yeah, that was horrible, because when I say train, it was tight. It kind of really is like literally a train out of like you see on the Western movies. I mean, it wasn't much of a train. And then
was 20 years
and
ago,
then
so
I'm sure it's improved. And then they stop. Like there's like
every little podunk spot.
Yeah, there's like these tiny little 3-house towns in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and it's pitch dark. You can't see. And here's this dude standing under a lone light and they stop for him, pick him up. He gets on, he goes to the back, whatever, the train or the front of the train, and then you move on. So you're like, just as you're starting to nod off, boom, you're stopping again. And it's just like that for like 10 hours of travel. So
Wow.
I will admit that was a little on the rough side.
Yeah, because we did planes, trains, and automobiles. When
Yes, we
went
did.
there.
Yeah.
Our plan, if whenever we get a chance to go, is we're gonna rent a car or a van because I have kids, but we're gonna drive around the country. So we're gonna spend roughly about 10 days. I want to talk more about New Zealand, but I'm gonna pause for a second. We have 10 people live here, guys. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And
What's up, everybody?
I put the description for the Hart family's YouTube channel. Okay, we'll talk more about it shortly. Please go ahead. No, you guys can talk. I really would appreciate if you guys can go check out their channel. Now this whole subscribe thing, it's whack. Watch their show. You don't have to necessarily subscribe right away, but make the time to go back and support them. I always say this: we gotta support each other. It's very important.
Yes.
You can't just grow alone. It doesn't work like that. So they have a Facebook page. It's on my description right now. Giving a like takes you 30 seconds. Unless you're tipsy like me, maybe a little bit slower, but do it up. Tokyo Smith, thank you for joining. Hey, Brian and Leanne, one thing I did not ask is I don't think you guys are on Instagram, right?
Just as our personal selves,
Okay.
not as our channel.
No, I don't really do much there.
I know. I listen. I get the pain. Maintaining multiple platforms is not easy. It consumes times. But when you guys do, let me know, and I want some support there as well. TikTok, I'm not going to talk about it because I still can't figure out that damn thing. So for now, guys, Facebook, watch their videos. Maybe don't subscribe right away. Go back another time and subscribe. So
And we are on Twitter, so so for Twitter it's Sunday's Hart is Twitter, and then Facebook.
oh, see, I forgot to put the handle on the studio background, but pretty much it's Sundays with Hart, right?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome. And for anyone here that's new, if you're not subscribed to my channel, I will humbly request that you do it. And if anyone wants to be part of the show, you guys have a YouTube channel, you travel, or you're awesome like these two who does everything, you're welcome to join my show. Email me, talk to me on Instagram, leave me a message here, whatever. Like I said, the idea here is we're having fun. I'm loving it. I'm on to my second beer. They're sipping their beer, so we're having a great time.
Yes. Oh, we're not sipping our beer.
They're drinking. Let's circle back to New Zealand very quickly. Leanne, you mentioned how be careful when you pack your stuff. I watched this show, Border Show, for Auckland, New Zealand, when people come, and that show was crazy. And watching that, I know how strict they are to make sure you don't bring in something that you shouldn't. For anyone planning, maybe not now, COVID-19, well, you can still travel depending on who and what you do. Pack your stuff, pay attention. That's very important. You guys are talking about Hawaii throughout the whole time. I want to come back to Hawaii because I went there and I loved it. And you guys said you've been stationed you've been there for a couple of years. Tell me, how is Hawaii? And specifically, if you've done the drive to Hana, which I enjoyed.
Person.
Let me hear.
Hans will not answer this question.
So with Brian, so I was stationed there for 3 years. Brian was born and raised. Just like with me, growing up in Idaho, I hated it. So a lot of people hate where they're from.
Yeah.
But
there are good things, and I'll get to that when
there are a lot of good things.
You say your good things, and I'll say mine.
I loved Hawaii. So living all over the world before I got there and wanting to retire in Germany or someplace other than the States. When I got to Hawaii, and I'd only been there like 2 or 3 weeks, I think I was even still staying in the hotel. And I don't think I had my apartment yet.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, you know what? This is like it's like living overseas, but not. So it was like the best of both worlds. It was like, shut up. It was like living overseas, but having all the benefits of being in the States. And I actually had thought at that time that I would retire there because it was like the best of both worlds. I was having the experience of living in a foreign country, but having all the benefits of living in the States. And I loved it. I loved going to the beach. And at that time I'm still not a good swimmer, but I didn't swim really at all at that time. I actually had to learn how to swim because we didn't have a pool even in my town, so I didn't have a pool, and so I never learned how to swim. So I learned how to swim, and just the culture and the people and just the variety of things that you wouldn't find in, say, Pocatello, Idaho. Yes, I just dissed my town. And,
I love Pocatello.
Oh, of course you would. I hate Pocatello.
We had fun.
Well,
anyway,
that's another story for another channel. And so I like Hawaii, but it is a very expensive place. It's difficult. Jobs.
Yeah. So
sometimes jobs are plentiful, sometimes they're not.
So first off, everybody, my hair is usually not this, but that was for the Hans character. Just no. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Yeah, look, Hawaii is Hawaii is great. Yada yada yada.
It's definitely a great place to visit.
It's great. It's a great place to raise a family. If you get, we don't have people driving around with machine guns on their cars and stuff there.
Even though Hawaii Five-0 made you think it was.
Yeah, if you were at Hawaii Five-0, you would wonder how did this dude must be a badass because he survived all this stuff in Hawaii.
When we were watching Hawaii Five-0, almost every week we were looking at each other like, how did you grow up to survive in this town with terrorists and biological weapons?
I know, that's kind of, this was a terror, I got an AK in the ear, and then this is all radiation from that nuclear bomb. No, anyways, no, so here's the thing with this is, no, I'm not saying don't go to Hawaii, but if you go to Hawaii, when people ask me about Hawaii, this is what I tell them. I said, what do you want to do? Do you want to party, just party, or do you want to see what's remnants of old Hawaii? And usually most people want to see history. So, go to Kauai, go to Molokai if you can, go to Maui, go to the Big Island, fly into Waikiki, fly right out of Waikiki, or you could stay in Waikiki for a night or two and party, whatever it is, because that's the party central, and then get out to the other islands. Because here's the thing is that I was very fortunate. I was born in '69, so obviously I had this fantastic childhood up until the '90s, post high school. And there's a lot of economics and things that were involved in that. I'm not even going to get into that. But when you watch the old Magnum PIs, I know, if you're sitting with me watching the old Magnum PIs, I can tell you everything about where they're at.
The original series.
The original series. I can tell you, and even the new series, I can tell you most, but especially the original series, they filmed in a lot of locations. I grew up in Hawaii Kai on the east side of the island, so a vast majority of the filming took place there because it was more remote. It was at that time, Hawaii Kai area was not as built up as it is. So I know the history and stuff, and kind of where I'm going with that is what's sad now is Hawaii is there's a lot of history there, and there's a lot of ancient history, there's a lot of modern history, and there's a lot of kind of interesting facts and things that went on. And so I was very privileged to be able to experience what I consider older Hawaii and Hawaii at its glory. Now, in fact, actually in doing research for my follow-on to Without Within, ironically enough, what's sad is that some of the much of the places, when you try to do research on the internet, it's now been relegated to like, oh, this is a cool place to surf, or this is a cool place to like sites, you know, to whatever. But they've told like history and what that place is been totally relegated to like, oh, it's just a cool place to go to. There's like
still,
nothing
still a lot of,
about it.
There's
So
still a lot of.
it's a very painful subject for me.
There's still a lot
personally.
of old style stuff there. So like, you know,
but only on the outer islands,
right? And because you know, Nathan asked about the road to Hana, I did most of it. I was actually getting kind of seasick a little bit because I think because I was in the passenger seat, so I kind of got seasick a little bit. And this was before we met.
Yeah.
But so I have done it. It's absolutely beautiful.
I hiked the Hana, like me and my father hiked the Hana coast. So like we, you know, like I have that experience back in the 80s, like in, well, like 83 or something like that. So I have this experience like where I've seen Hawaii at the ground level, non-tourist level, and experienced the history of, say, the Hana coastline in a different way, which now I don't know. Like so many people don't.
And we think about, so like, because his dad lives on Maui now, and we were going to go to Hawaii in October last week. We were going to go to Hawaii.
Not
now, but we were going to go to Hawaii, and we thought about doing, since he lives on Maui, because it's on Maui, right?
I heard they have zombies on Maui, like the COVID, because they're like,
Hana's on Maui,
well, they
right?
have masks on, they're like,
Hana's on Maui, right?
We stayed in Maui when we went, and to Brian's point, or Leanne, sorry, it was expensive. I remember paying a ton of money for food.
Yeah.
And this hotel that I stayed in, I think it offered free breakfast, but everything else was expensive. So,
well, the one thing about Hawaii is don't eat in the tourist spots, even on Maui.
Which is pretty tough to do.
It is,
Hawaii,
but even when you're in Maui or Oahu or the Big Island, don't eat in the tourist areas, because when I first got to Hawaii, I was just like, oh my God, how am I going to be able to do this? And then I discovered all the really great restaurants that were better than the ones in Waikiki. You pay half the price. So you just have to go away from the tourist areas and
which is the golden rule of travel, everybody.
Of course.
Is don't eat tourist places.
Yeah, so when you're like in Cabo, right, that's great and that's fine and dandy, but go about 3 to 6 blocks up any side street
and get for like $1.
Yeah, and then you'll see it. You'll know when you see it. You'll see this like dive restaurant, and it'll be a packed house.
And the most amazing food you ever had. So do not eat in tourist places. Walk through
for a quarter of the price in some cases.
This brings me a beautiful story of me and my wife when we were in Switzerland. We stayed in Interlaken for a few days, and then we kind of took the train everywhere.
Expensive.
I think we spent 7 days. Third day, my wife's like, man, it would be nice to have something Indian, you know, spicy and so on. Okay. I said, sure, let's go. We're in Interlaken, right? So we find the Indian restaurant. We walk in, we sit down, they bring us the menu and everything. She wanted to have biryani. And the menu didn't give the price. So we order it, and then we're like, oh, so how much is it? Guys, I forgot how much, whatever the local currency was, but my wife quickly did the math. For a tiny little plate, it was something like $50 Canadian, and I'm not kidding. I just looked at her and said, are we ordering this for $50?
It's a tourist special.
Well, and when a menu doesn't have prices, you already know that's
a.
We ran out of it, and I think we were eating the $10 shawarma for the whole time. I'm like, you know what? We're gonna stick to this for the next 3 days. I'm not freaking spending $50.
Well, Switzerland is very, very expensive. I've been there. It's just outrageously expensive, and but that's the one thing that. They always say that, you know, for the restaurants that don't have the prices on there, they're either one or two things. They're either the tourist special, which stay away from that because this is a tourist special, or two, it's if you have to ask the price, you can't afford it. And It's just ridiculous sometimes. $50 for rice, it's like, that's ridiculous.
I'll tell you, back to New Zealand, when you guys go to New Zealand, boy, I'm gonna tell you right now, like if you get a hankering for Indian food,
no, it wasn't Indian.
They had Turkish and Indian.
Oh,
those are the two.
We did have Indian.
We
had
had
a lot of Turkish and
we
Indian
didn't
food.
eat New Zealand, which is just basically steak and potatoes, British cooking, but
or lamb.
Or lamb. But and then there was Turkish food, which was phenomenal, and the Indian food was phenomenal.
That's right.
So,
we had a lot of Turkish.
Yes,
and
we
Indian
ate a lot
food
of Turkish because it was cheap. It was very inexpensive. I think an average meal was like $30 with a beer
for both of us. Yeah. New Zealand. Oh my gosh, the food.
They don't serve beef though. I don't want it. I just
shut up.
Bad joke, but that's.
Let's get some serious topic now. I didn't realize up until I spoke to you guys last week or earlier this week. Brian, you're an author. You have at least 2 books out there. Once again, guys, description for his books. Tell me about it. Watching your show, I would have never guessed that you're an author. How did that happen?
So we haven't gotten there yet. So we do want to have. We are going to have a show about our books.
Yeah.
Because he has 2 novels and a poetry book, and I have a poetry book. And so I'll let you talk about your stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
You have the book, right? Are you showing?
I guess I'm a writer. Yeah. So the first one is Task Force.
There's a lot of glare.
2198, which is kind of a apocalyptic novel, and if you were to pick it up and read it, you might find that there's a lot of similarities to what's going on
right now.
Right now. And then kind of really my kind of at the moment to date is and then my other book is Without. Oops, there it goes. Kind of hard to that's a vampire novel, but it's just written, it's just a different little bit of a novel than what you might expect. So it's not kind of the typical bloodsucker thing, and it's really about
both of the books are about choices.
It's about this. Yeah, choices, fate, and the soul. I write about the choices, God, choices, fate, and the soul. That's kind of what I write about. And then my other book, it's a poem book, is Where Her Ghost Walks Still, which is a collection of poems that was written while writing the first 2 books, and specifically Without. So everything I write about, like I said, is kind of about love, lost love, choices, fate, and the soul, and the journey of the soul. Something to know about me, about us, but about me is I'm a big believer in past lives. I've lived many of them. And so my writing kind of reflects that, I think, that perspective. And the next book I'm working on is To Where the Seas Take Us, which is just a straight up love, adventure, romance story. Although the main character does have a few philosophical things to say about love, lust, and laughter and life. And then I'm also working on a poem book called A Compass Just Shy of Truth. I have no idea when these are going to come out. Well, it's supposed to be the end of the year, but at this point, plans have been delayed.
Leanne was nice enough to put the links on Messenger when we were talking, and I quickly took a look. I'm not a reader myself, but those who are, these books were something like $3. And if you get the online version, it's even cheap. So if there are any readers out there, if you're interested, like I said, it's not a lot. So again, I was really surprised to hear this side of you guys, and again, totally unexpected. I was like, oh wow, so that was a cool thing. You do sketch on every single one of your shows. There's something going on, and again, this information, unless you would have told me, I would have never known. You are an actor,
right?
And quite a good actor, by the way. So You were featured on.
Oh,
Did you look at the
He's talking
Breaking?
about me.
Yeah. Did you look at the
No,
Breaking
I
Bad
didn't know.
episode?
I was so scared, but my buddy just told me that I'm able to get the video and show it if it's a couple of seconds. But no, tell me about it. So you were featured on Breaking Bad, and I know you said it was supposed to be permanent. Something happened.
I wouldn't say featured. Yeah, no,
He's an extra.
I was an extra, but there was that pivotal scene where at the
the
party,
pilot episode.
on the pilot episode, there was a party, and I did some other things. I'm in $5 a day. And,
Oh my, I'm in that one too.
I'm on the Sarah Connor Chronicles as a sheriff's deputy. But they're all like small bits, like they're featured,
They're extra,
but they're
yeah.
featured extra. But yeah, but story for Breaking Bad. So that scene that we were in is the birthday party scene where Bryan Cranston's
And that's
nice
the first
guy, by the
episode,
way,
right,
really.
Brian? Okay.
The pilot.
Yes. So where Bryan Cranston's character announces that he's got cancer and he's trying to figure out what to do with the rest of his life and stuff. So I played the part of a DEA agent, and I do not remember the actor's name. He was kind of in league with.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, we were all kind of the DA guys, and anyone who watches the show will know the DA guys are kind of in league, and they're all kind of shady and all this. So, anyways, I was one of the. So, fun fact: what got cut was there's a scene where we drive up to the front of the house, right, and so there's three of us in the car, and me, and the one guy goes in, what's up, boss, blah, blah, but me and the other, the low life DA guys, we get out and we're carrying this keg of beer into the house. So the scene was get out of the car, open the trunk, pull out this keg of beer, carry it up to the house. The director, no, that wasn't that. The director wanted authenticity, so he wanted the keg to be full. So it was a full keg, so that's like 125 pounds, and we shot it, and we were over and over and over and every freaking angle, and it was to the point we were like, they cut the scene, and that's the best part. The rest of the actors, even Bryan Cranston went up to the director and was like, dude, these guys are smoked. Like, I mean, they're like, we're shaking. You can see us like shaking. We like barely we're doing everything we can by the 25th scene. We're doing everything we can to get it into the house, right? I mean, and I mean, I could have used my arm for like 4 days, but it was so funny because Bryan Cranston and I can't remember one of the other actors.
Yeah, I can't think of
He was
his name.
like, boss, you're in charge, but I think these guys are done. And then here we are expectantly waiting for this epic keg carrying scene, and it was kind of.
But we're gonna continue to talk about your movie roles, or at least your auditions and stuff. There's some quite interesting stories. I want to take a minute for saying again thank you for those who are sticking around with us. That's really nice of you, and anybody watching this after this done. Once again, thank you. I have the Hart Family's channel on my description, and I also have them as a channel that I support. It's very easy, Sundays with Hart. Please go take a look, watch their videos, give them a thumbs up. They release videos twice a week, one midweek, which they make like a community thing where they promote different businesses and products, and then Sundays they use their the usual release, which is I mean, they're both fun, but anyways, twice a week. They have a Facebook page that's also on the description. Like I said, giving them a thumbs up doesn't hurt. Whether I look at their channel on YouTube or not, as soon as they update their Facebook, it comes on my feed, and I see it, and then I will watch a few minutes and then go back to finish the rest. So please, every single like, every single subscription counts. So please do it. And these guys are pretty cool. They watch my videos, and I'm pretty sure in the future they will come in and watch your videos as well. So it's a scenario where we help each other. I got a little family boo-boo. I thought my kids were gonna storm in here. I clearly told my wife, no. The door opened. I'm like, oh no. So anyways, guys, it's important. I always say this. I take the time to go watch your video. If I'm subscribed to your channel, I watch your video. And I know a lot of us here do the same thing back. So please help each other. I keep saying this. It doesn't cost money. Right? We're here to grow together.
It's cheap entertainment for us, anyways, on our channel. Like,
and we're a train wreck, so join the train wreck.
Exactly. You guys hit us on a couple of other episodes as well. So it's fun. And what about, like, I spoke to Brian in the end beforehand. I know, we're all having fun doing this. But at the same time, we have other goals. Maybe hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. I'm still fighting for it. Getting that watch hour, maybe getting monetized. We have goals in mind which we want to hit, and anything you do to support it is really
just
helpful.
send beer. Like, that's cool too.
Yeah, just send beer.
Yeah, beer, wine,
and you guys do a lot of
whiskey,
wine tasting and all. So again, to me, it's an interesting channel, and I'm sure there's quite a few out there who would appreciate watching what you guys do. One other question that I always ask, I know I'm kind of going backwards now, but I want to ask you guys, if COVID-19 was gone and the world was back to where it used to be a year ago, where would you guys travel as a couple?
Well, so let's fast forward a little bit, because we were supposed to go back for a second. We were supposed to go to Mexico this year, and it got messed up. But next year is our 20th anniversary of being married, and we've been trying to plan something.
Yeah.
And we want to go someplace that neither one of us has been to, because I would love to take Brian to Paris. I would love to take him to a lot of different things, but we're going to go someplace that we've never been before.
Never been as a couple.
And so, well, at all.
Okay.
That I've never been to, that he's never been to, and because if you're just talking about a couple, then definitely Paris or something like that. But since I've been there, I want us to experience something new together.
We should go see that guy Hans. He seems kind of cool. Like, catch one of his art shows.
So I want us to experience. I want it to be an experience together, like when we went to New Zealand. Something that neither one of us has been to, that we can experience together for our anniversary. And so he wants to go to Tahiti, and I want to go too. But we're also looking at retirement options. So Fiji has been something a little bit higher on the list because it's a little bit more easily to emigrate to.
So drum roll here.
Oh, what is he going to tell me?
All right, so we're just going to say this on live TV.
I'm worried.
For our 20th anniversary, I booked us on SpaceX. We're going to Mars! Woo!
Guys, they said they're a train wreck, and there you go. There's the proof right there.
Yes, 5 years too. I don't know. I figure we spend like 2 or 3 days maybe, and then we'll come back. So yeah, like what is that? 23. 10 years. 10 years, 3 days, and then yes, that'll see. There you go.
Before I forget, I want to come back to your acting roles or some of the roles that you went auditioned for. But before that, I just want to switch gears a tiny bit. Let's talk about your YouTube channel. When did you guys start, and what's your goal? Like, I know you guys have fun doing this. Talk to me about it. How did the idea even start to say, okay, you know what, today we're going to start a channel? Like, how did that come up?
Did start?
Well,
I think we were drunk.
Probably. So, I've been wanting to do a YouTube channel for a while. I didn't know where to go, how to start,
Right.
any of that. And in July, we talk about food and we talk about wine and we talk about just life in general. And I was like, you know what? That would be like a great. At first, I thought it was just going to be
Right.
cooking because I'm an amateur chef. I thought it would just be cooking, that I would do my
Oh,
recipes.
you guys still do that on your
and
channel,
that would
right?
be
I do see you do that, right?
Yes.
yeah. But it just blew up for us, not numbers wise, but it just blew up from there because in July of this year, so July 5th was our very first video. But actually before that, we filmed a few things and it was just like, you know what? Let's film a YouTube video. And so
I was drug along.
So our first video was we made jerk chicken because I bought this jerk sauce. I bought this jerk sauce from Amazon,
which we had in Jamaica.
We had jerk chicken in Jamaica, and I was like, let's do a jerk chicken and beer pairing. And so it just kind of like evolved from there that we were going to do food pairings and wine pairings and beer pairings and throw in occasional cooking. But wait. Throw in occasional cooking videos. And then like one day we were going to make a video, and who was our first character? I can't remember.
Was Spyglass.
No.
Yes.
No, was it Spyglass?
Yes, it was Spyglass Wines. Yeah.
And he just was like, I'm going to make a character. And it just kind of evolved from there.
Yeah, I think, well, I got drug along, everybody, just so you know.
Involuntarily drug along.
Yeah. So I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, like I have to entertain myself because I'm not a self-promoter / whatever. So anyways, so I don't know, and it started with, and that's how it started. So we did this jerk chicken thing, and then I think, I'm pretty sure it was Spyglass, and then
no, was it? It was we were gonna do the Studio Miraval, and you wore your kilt.
Oh,
that was
yes,
your first character.
Yes, and I was like, if I'm forced into this marriage, stuff that you don't want to do.
I know, right?
So I was like, how do I make this interesting? So I was like, well, I'll wear my kilt and then that, she's right. That's how and then the second one was
then the second one was the Spyglass.
Was the Spyglass, and I was like, and so like by then I was like already thinking, I was like, well, like, like I could put some talents to use, and I was like, Spyglass. I was like, what? And I was like, then I was like thinking about this old, like actually my dad had this old nautical Spyglass which got sold on a garage sale years ago, whatever. I was like, well, I don't have that, and I was like, I got night vision goggles with my helmet and stuff. So like I turned it into this whole spy thing. Actually, in fact, I was wearing this sexy sweater. Actually,
I think you were. And then the third skit was the Temple
of Nero. Neo, yes, because we were doing Temper Neo, and then I was like, what is, and then it came to me like the Matrix,
and oh my gosh, that one.
And then after that, I guess like we did, I don't know. At this point, so I'm being drug along in this journey of hers, and so to make it bearable for me, I just create these stupid characters. So like we have
just
fun.
Like what you saw earlier today when we were doing our pre-stuff, we argue before our videos.
It's not an argument.
It was.
Well, you guys don't necessarily argue during like the shows that I watch. At least you guys look at each other like, okay, like you guys have good chemistry, and the idea, whatever Brian you're doing, I think it's working because, again.
Well, the arguments come before the film.
There's silent arguments.
Sometimes we like cut those out because I have to like do a lot of editing.
Just chop them out. When I travel, I'm very good.
Actually, we don't do.
But I argue with my wife too, and we tend to not show that. But then this year when we did the road trip to Alberta, I thought I took out the part where we argued. Well, not really bad argument. I was saying something really stupid, but it was not edited. It just came on it, and I was like watching it. I'm like, oh crap, I'm supposed to edit. I'm like, whatever. It's just us having, because I'm constantly coaching my wife. Okay, keep the camera like this. Oh, you're not. I'm very picky, so you you guys are being natural, and it's okay. And I think I know why, Brian. Because let's get into that right now. You are again, you've been on a show, you've auditioned for quite a few other shows, and tell me about it.
Well, well, okay. So I haven't. Well, okay. Oh God, that's like a long. Okay, so
I need more beer.
so I haven't really. Okay, so audition is like maybe like a so
A strong word.
Okay, so like one time I was supposed to be
One time at Banco?
Yes, I was supposed to be Val Kilmer's fill-in not stunt double, but double for I don't know even what that movie was.
Oh, I can't remember.
It was
that
out there.
movie.
They filmed it almost exclusively out here in our neck of the woods. So like that I did audition for. Well, I just went down and showed up, and then they ended up. And this is the irony is because I
Yeah,
guess
he was supposed to be a body double.
I do look like Val Kilmer
when he
yeah.
was younger.
when I was young, when I wasn't as
no,
fat.
not you. When he was
Well,
younger.
yeah, well, and then
Because
and
you
then
don't
it,
look anything like.
and then they ended up, but I still was on the movie. That's the set I walked off of. But so
You
okay, so I was
walked
supposed to
off
be the
the
double,
set.
and I show up all ready to be the double, and then like they hired this Marine that just got out of his 4 years of being a Marine, and he was like 20, blonde, blue eyes, didn't look like anything like Val Kilmer, and they're like, oh, he's gonna be the double now, and I'm like, okay, cool, but what the hell was that movie? You're gonna play
sniper or
the
something.
no, I was gonna be the father
Oh yeah.
of a family that, and then like there's a scene where we're walking down this town, and then this car comes and crashes into a building, there's explosions and all this, and I'm trying to protect my family and all this. I don't even know.
I can remember
I
that.
don't even know the movie. But they pissed me off, so excuse my French. But I walked off set, and they said, you'll never work
He
here
speaks French, so that's not French.
or Hollywood again. And I was like, fine, don't. And then I got called like every other day for the next 3 months. But I did actually was supposed to audition for the Breaking Bad as a full-time DA agent. And that was actually funny because I got that call. So we filmed this scene where I was an extra, and I ran into Bryan Cranston, and he was like, what's up? And we were talking, and I said, yeah, I love that scene in the beginning. What was his show that he was on?
Malcolm in the Middle.
Malcolm in the Middle, where like you're just standing there and you're all Harry Watt reading the magazine, the newspaper, and he just looked at me like, okay, that's awkward. And anyways, but I made a comment. I was like, yeah, like, and he goes like, dude, you look really good, look good on camera. So you made that comment. I was like, well, thank you. And then I was like, well, if you guys decide that you just want like this really shady, like screwed up DEA agent, then like I'm your man, right? And stuff. And I got skills that you know, like I could tell you about over dinner. So anyways, he's like, well, I'll take that into consideration. But like a week later, I get this call from the casting director. And her name was Sharon. Remember her last name? She died recently. About 3 years ago, cancer. Yeah. But so anyways, I get this call and they're like, can you audition now? And I'm like, oh, I'm on duty.
And if you don't
I
mind,
can't leave my post.
What do you do for a living?
So I do security.
So you were
right
working
now,
as a guard at the
I'm
time
an
when you
armed
got the
security
call, right?
officer. Yes, and I was working at a government facility, so I couldn't just like pack up and leave. So, and I said, they said, okay, fine. What about tomorrow at 3:30? I'm like, oh my God, I get off at 3. So that's what I did. Is like the very next day, I told my boss, I said, can you tell the guy coming in, tell him to get down here early. Of course, that guard didn't. So at 3:15, he shows up. I got 15 minutes to get down to Q Studios, which is, like maybe 10, 15 minutes as a crow fly, like on I-25. So I'm doing like 150 miles an hour, whatever my little Jeep Cherokee can do. And then I get this call, like I literally pull off to go off of the freeway to get on the road that goes to Q Studios. And I get the call from the assistant, and I answer. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, don't bother showing up. You didn't get the role. And I'm like, I'm literally 3 minutes away. And then she's like, oh, we gave it to this other guy. And the irony is that this other guy, I knew the other actor, and he was just like an extra, which is cool. It's all cool. But I knew the other guy. This guy, no military law enforcement experience, no security experience, no, doesn't even know how to shoot a gun type of person, right? And they were looking for, hasn't been in street fights and stuff, right? And they were looking for a guy like me. I got like I said, I've been knocked around a little bit, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, if you think he's gonna play the part, and I don't even know whatever happened because we never watched the show, anyways.
I couldn't get
But
past
yeah, so that was.
episode 2 because of the drug memorization. I'm glad you didn't get that.
But I did bodyguards. Like I worked for Mariah Carey. I did bodyguard for Mariah Carey for a security company.
Go ahead, tell us about your being a bodyguard for celebrities.
So I work for this company that's no longer in existence, and I started off kind of got this job doing set security, but because of my skill set, I quickly kind of moved up to doing like personal protection stuff. So I worked for Mariah Carey, which is, oh my God, she was just like an amazing person, amazing human being.
Don't say that one story about that dude.
Yeah, no. And then I worked for Tommy Lee Jones, who, he was a great guy. He didn't really like having security, so I had to be invisible all the time, yet be ready. Who else did I work for? I worked for
So how does it work, Brian? Do you carry
Charlize
guns
Theron.
when you're with them?
Charlize Theron.
So how does it work? Like you're in a suit. Let's say they go out. How does this work?
Well, this was set security, so it's a little different than personal bodyguarding.
Yeah, so all these actors and stuff in general, they have their own protection. Some of them don't. For me, so I'm like, I was plainclothes sometimes, but mostly uniformed. So with some of them is they've got their personal bodyguard who's usually some Navy SEAL guy. And then I'm his shadow, right? So like without getting into detail, like they're the close protection. I'm kind of the secondary, the Overwatch. So like I actually have to work because I got to be Johnny on the spot. I'm always constantly orbiting. I'm always constantly kind of following wherever they go, and I've always got to look for the cues from the main bodyguard, because like I said, they bring their own bodyguards from like whatever state they're from, or whoever they've been working with for like forever. And then was my position, and then everyone else answered to me. So like if their bodyguard said this is what I want, then I turn around and tell everybody else what they got to do, and then I'm kind of like that that person. So, but everything's never had any major problems. Nothing.
Well, I'm glad. So do you actually get to know Mariah Carey? Like, do you guys talk? Like, how
No, you don't get to know, but you get to know them through how they interact with the set people, how they interact with the director, how they interact with like people in general, and how they interact with me. She actually, when I was working with her, we were out in an area near her, and we had a snowstorm, and I'm out in the cold. I'm the gatekeeper of her boss, and then personal guys just inside. And she actually took her time, like 3:00 in the morning. She came up and said, "Hey, Officer Hartford, is there anything you need?" And I'm like, "No, I'm all good, man." I'm just like, free, yeah. So you
always said how sweet she was to not only you but her fans. That she was a very sweet person.
Yeah. So it just kind of depends. There's all different kind of. Yeah, I don't know.
And you're still doing your security job, right?
Yeah, now I'm what they call a floater. So I for this company,
like a filler.
I'm really like part time now because I'm trying to be a writer, I guess, and doing these YouTube videos.
We're trying to be a trainer.
Yeah, I guess.
And Leanne, what about you? What do you do now? I don't know. I don't think we discussed this, but I'm just going to ask it anyway. So, what do you do?
I won't say what agency I work for, but I do IT for the federal government.
You're in IT, so you're like me. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's interesting. Now, I while you guys were talking, I was just glancing through my notepad just to make sure I didn't miss anything. The only thing I did not ask you guys, but we kind of talked about it throughout, is you guys traveled extensively within the U.S. I have Phoenix, San Francisco, Hawaii. Obviously, we talked about it. So you guys are really not only travel the world, but also
Yeah, I've probably
Well,
been.
mostly separate.
Yeah, there's like a life before
Like
this.
so you should talk about the Appalachian Trail.
So I've as a kid growing up, I so my mom's passed, but her side of the family's from Montana. My dad's side of the family's from New York.
Your mom. I was like, my side of the family's not from Montana.
And so I spent my childhood going back and forth from New York and to Idaho, to Montana and stuff, and Idaho because one of her sisters lived in
Your mom's
Idaho.
sisters.
And I was in Boy Scouts, so like I've traveled like kind of throughout my life, like as a kid and as a young adult, I traveled through the United States. And then in kind of about 2000, well, like after high school, right now we don't travel anymore.
Yeah,
so like I did my own trips, like I hiked the Appalachian Trail, like I kind of what they call slack packed it. So like that's when you hike a little bit and take a bus a little bit and whatever and go.
You never told me you took a bus.
Yeah, I would take buses.
Oh.
So I've seen a very huge cross section of
You never
America.
told me you took a bus.
Had an interesting experience once. I don't remember where I was. It was like on the way to Peoria to visit a high school friend who was living in Peoria.
Illinois.
And I ran out of money. I had a credit card, but I ran out of money. And I'm at this bus stop, and it's like 2:00 in the morning. And here's this girl, and we were chatting each other up. She was kind of cute, whatever. And she was basically she had like nowhere to go either, type of thing. I mean, I had a place to go, but she had nowhere to go. She was just traveling and stuff. I can't remember where she was trying to get to New York or something. But anyways,
it's funny how Leanne remembers that.
But anyways, yeah. So I was like, God, I'm freaking starving, right? And the thing is I got a backpack with food in it, but it's locked up on the bus because like they were waiting for a new bus driver and all this. She's like, oh, no worries. So she like bought me chips and soda and stuff. And I'm like sitting there like, oh my God. Like, she's like her last $5 that she bought like us dinner, or we had dinner together, so to speak. And I was like, I'm never gonna be able to pay you back. She's like, that's okay, sweetie. She goes, because all I want you to do is if there's ever someone like you, the next time you got money, is pay it forward, right? It was back in the day, back like 93, 93.
Yeah, before us.
Yeah, before us. So yeah, so a lot of experiences, and I've seen a huge cross section of America. I've sat at, I've sat with people that have nothing. I've had dinner with people that have nothing. I've had dinner with people that have had everything. So I've experienced a lot, like the full gamut of what America has to offer, and just about, I don't know. I've like backpacked everywhere. Superstitions, Idaho, Montana. I've been on the Continental Divide. I mean, I don't know. I've done a lot of things. I canoed all over Wisconsin.
Now,
everything.
While we're chatting away, I kind of slowed down on drinking my beer. So really, I'm on my second bottle, like almost done. How about you guys? I saw you guys drink, but I can't tell how much.
1, 2, 3.
We need more.
But I can't get to the other ones because I don't want to walk away.
I was going to say, I brought one and I'm still...
Oh, there's 4. There's 4. Cuatro.
1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Officially, guys, like the question that I wanted to ask, I think we all covered it, but I have maybe not the last question, but what are you guys hoping for your YouTube channel for the next year? Do you guys have any goals? Like, what are you working towards? I know, Brian, you're in for the fun. I want to listen to Leanne.
Not to be just down to 1 viewer, which would probably be you.
No,
if we can keep 3 viewers, that's pretty good. Because that would be you, my dad, and then there's that Josh dude that's subscribed, the one that plays guitar out here and stuff. He's, I think.
Shut up. So, when
she wants money,
and I don't blame her. Why not? You rather get.
But okay, so I have this idea, of, and I don't think I've ever like articulated it before, but I have this idea of who we are. And
Who are we?
yeah, I have no idea. So we have, we have books, and I do editing, and we've decided that we're doing mentorships with authors. So like, if there's authors out there that are trying to do character development and learn to write, that we want to help. I guess our thing is we want to help people. And so I think our goal is to just tell people who we are as normal people and how we want to help others. And we do that community positivity. That was really important to me when we started this, because it was right in the middle of COVID, the high part of COVID. And we wanted to help because we have friends that are artists and drag queens and musicians, and we want to like get their word out, and we want to help people, and we want to be I think for me, it's like helping people and providing some entertainment along the way, and just show our train wreck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a heck of a journey, and I gotta ask you guys another question. I would love to have you guys back a year from now and discuss your growth and where you're at. And if you guys ever
I don't know.
huge stars, I would love to be on your
Far
show
away
where
from
you
that.
talk about me or you interview me and promote me.
And I thought about, because we want to do that community positivity, and I want to have live shows, or at least taped live shows. My editing and all of that, I'm still learning a lot of things, but yeah, I want to like showcase other people, not only YouTubers, but artists and musicians and drag queens and actors and chefs, and I want to do that. It's kind of like a lifestyle show. We want to help people, and I want to move forward to that. But we just haven't quite got there yet. But in the future, I think we will, and we want to have you on it because you've been so.
No, that'd be
helpful
awesome.
to me.
Yeah. I think to answer your question on my part of it is, I think do I want to be a famous writer, Hemingway? Live in some tropical place with $50 million in the bank. Yeah,
and a lot of cats.
Why? Who does it, right?
And a lot of cats.
Yeah, I like cats. I don't like dogs, I'll have 7-toed cats, so I'll do him better. He has 6-toed cats. I'll have 7-toed. But anyways, but I think the thing is to keep life in perspective and have fun doing what you're doing, and especially right now with the way that things, like everything's kind of scary and all this stuff. So I think for me is if I can make someone laugh, if I can reassure them that it's okay to be stupid,
We all are.
and do your thing. I think, like that's okay. I think that's kind of where I'm at. And if somebody wants to read my stuff and kind of see that message within, great. If not, oh well.
And I'm glad you mentioned that again, because that's kind of our thing it's helping people, but it's the choices that you make. We always talk about living life unscripted and how you give your love to people.
Loving, lusting, and laughing.
Right. And the lust part's not necessarily a sexual thing, but it's a lust for life type of thing. So be happy and show. I grew up and I love Sunday dinner. That was that's where the name came from a little bit.
Oh.
I love Sunday dinner. That was my favorite day of the week. And and from about 13 on, I was the one responsible for making Sunday dinner. And that's always been a very special day for me. It's my favorite day of the week. I tend not to go anywhere on Sundays. I just want to decompress and enjoy the day with my family. And that's kind of where the name Sundays with Hart came from, because, you know, our last name is Hartford. It's kind of a play on our name. And it's my favorite day of the week, and it's very special to me. And I want to bring that to others, to show people that you can have a great experience in your life. And for me, it's showing my love through food. And I actually, we are going to be doing some episodes on budget cooking as well, because I have a lot of recipes that are less than $10 for a family. And so we're going to do some of that. And I just think it's important to share the love.
You know, you guys said it right. The key is have fun doing what you're doing. Yes, we all have our goals. We're working towards. Obviously, you know, we're chasing these numbers. It's really hard not to talk about numbers. I try not to say, okay, you know what, I'm not going to look at my subscribers. I'm not going to look at my watch hours. But when you have a goal in mind,
it's hard.
You can't help it. You know, you want to constantly see how you're doing and what else you can do to bring audience and bring subscribers. So my hope for you guys.
Yeah, because my goal in life would be to make a cookbook or a lifestyle book to talk about, you know, it's like an entertainment, you know, taking care of your family and showing love through food. And that would be like a stretch goal for me, would be to have a cookbook.
Well, my hope for you guys a year from now, when I invite you guys back here, is we're completely on a different level. I want to see your account being monetized. I want to see your subscribers. I want to be proud to say, you know, I had these guys on my show and look where they're at. That will just make me feel so happy. And I ask this every single guest that comes on the show. I want you to succeed. You know, anybody can be on YouTube. Anybody can get. You guys are probably like one video away from becoming viral and becoming. I want that for you guys, and come back on the show. And
what he really wants is he wants to be like, hey, it's me. Remember, I made you famous, and now I'm going to stay with you for a month in Tahiti at your bungalow.
and you know, if this COVID-19 disappears, you guys can come over here, or I can fly over there, and we can have a freaking collaboration and be like, look where we're at.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
So,
that would be awesome.
I don't know when I reach out to you guys to see if you want to come on my show. You guys were very, very nice people to talk to, very responsive. You guys were pretty excited, and you guys really made me excited to do this show. And again, you know, normally I'm not saying this because I want to. I sweat. Okay, I have this lights too, and I'm always stressed. But today, guys, I can tell you that I'm cool. I was calm, relaxed. We laughed, and yeah, I controlled this a bit because trust me, if I drink one more of this, I don't think I can do the show. I'm a cheap drunk. Yes.
Right? Well, you know that if they come out to visit us, we don't have to worry about an alcohol bill going through the roof.
Yeah. Yeah, like my friend's coming out here like in November, so that's already like, I don't know, $1,000 in beer.
I'm pretty cheap, so yeah. If you guys ever buy me beer, 3 is probably like top. I'll be probably knocked out by then. But again, thank you all, and I also want to take the time to again repeat myself to a point where I have their channel on my description. I've been putting their channel on my support page for a while. Go visit them, guys. Hitting that subscribe button. Oh, we got Hans back, by the way. Hitting that subscriber button or subscribing to their channel. It doesn't cost, and it helps each and every one of us. So watch the video, give them a thumbs up. And I'm sorry I wasn't paying attention to the chat here. I didn't see any questions, and I see Eastside Crew just joined the show, and he said I'm back, and not the last show, but the show before. This guy came and was like, yeah, I'm here, Eastside, and blah blah blah, and I'm like, who is this person? I don't know him. Turns out that's my colleague. We meet every Friday for coffee, and I talk about my show. You know, I always tell them, oh, come on my show, guys. You know, I have this guest coming, so. He finally is here, and he said I'm back. So, Mr. Pratt, thanks for joining. I'm drinking my third beer, and I want to say there are a handful of people that are consistently showing up to the show. So, and I guarantee you guys, these people are going to come to your channel. They're going to watch your videos. Just to name a few, Cone, we all know, is quite the regular on my show. He actually became a good friend that I talk to him on WhatsApp. I call him like we're friends. And Tokyo Smith from Japan, thank you, sir. He almost joins every single one of them. Now, in the last few weeks, I have this beautiful lady by the name of Alma Network USA. See, I'm drunk. She started joining and she's staying for the whole show. So thank you, Alma Network. I'll make sure to come and support you when you do your live shows. And there's a bunch of other people. So I'm always grateful. Please don't forget the Hart family. Pay them a visit and join their fun. So thank you, Hart family, for joining. I'll give you guys, because usually when we were doing the show, I said, "Oh, it's going to be an hour." Can you believe that we're talking for the last hour and a half? So we could probably still do a full 2-hour show if we wanted. That's how interesting this conversation is. So, again, guys, thank you. I'm gonna give you guys. I'm gonna say, because my time is so precious, I'm gonna give you guys 30 more seconds to finish off. Whatever you guys want to say.
Well, I want to thank everyone for joining the show, and I really appreciate you, Nathan, for reaching out to us. And you know, it's all about supporting one another and taking care of one another, and that's what's really important to me.
It's all about the art.
It's all about having fun.
Exactly.
All right.
Thank you so
guys.
much.
Cheers to you guys, and you guys have a great weekend. And we'll be in touch. I'm looking forward to your video on whatever that's going to come out on Sunday.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye,
everybody.
Bye.
Love you all.
Love you. Lust.
And laugh. Live your life unscripted.
Take care of one another.
Go out and do it.
Bingo. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so guys, again, that was awesome having Leanne and Brian Sundays with Hart. Let me just play my main intro video again. I love showcasing my intro videos. But again, guys, listen, today's show was awesome. A lot of you joined. I hope you learned a lot from the Hart family. Don't forget to pay them a visit. That's really important. And don't forget to give me thumbs up. I know I had quite a bit of people and I only have 6 thumbs up, so I would like to see that up. And Tokyo Smith, Alma Network, a couple of my colleagues from work, to Cone, to everybody else on the show that are here. I sincerely appreciate your support. And I've been I've been getting a ton of messages on Instagram and even Facebook, for that matter, for those who wants to join this show. You guys are welcome to go to my page. You can see my Instagram link and everything else. Reach out to me if you guys want to join my show. I will be happy to have you guys. The only thing that I will do after next week is I'm probably going to do the show only once a week. I have not put out my vacation video in the last 2 weeks, so I think it's important for me to stay consistent so I can grow my channel. And anybody here who is not subscribed to my channel, I would highly encourage you guys to support me as well by subscribing to my channel, watching a few videos, and you guys are always welcome to give me your feedback. Like I said, things don't happen overnight. You cannot grow your subscriber count. You cannot get your watch hours up just like that. You need support. You need support from every single one of them. So I appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for joining the show. I'll probably wait 30 seconds. If anyone here has any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer. Oh, I just see Sundays with Hart. Thank you so much for everyone who joined us. So again, I'm saying the same thing. I'll wait around for 30 seconds. If anyone has any questions, I will happily respond. If not, ciao from the Travel and Life Show. And I am gonna, however, play one more video, which I've done already. Let me stop my video. So my guys, Leanne and Brian, we talked about editing. You guys may be interested in this video. Please come and watch the show on Monday. I'm getting this guy by the name of Travis. I'm gonna play his video one more time. An amazing filmmaker who's gonna show us tiny tricks that you can do to make your video looks just like this.
My name is Travis Cosentino, and I live in my van. I've been doing van life for about a year now, and I love it. This channel is going to be about vlogging. It's going to be about my life, traveling on the road as a filmmaker and photographer. Van life is connection. I got into this life because I wanted to meet people. I would not be where I am today if it weren't for the people that I met on the road. These people have come through for me in ways that I could have never imagined, and I am eternally grateful for it. That to me is my bread and butter. That's what I get the most out of it, is just kind of learning their personal story and then telling it. And believe it or not, people have some pretty epic stories. What the fuck? This kid is driving me crazy.
So again, very interesting character. Make sure you guys join in, and you know, we can learn quite a few stuff from this gentleman. That's it, guys. As for me, I just want to say, you know, be safe and take care of yourself and enjoy your weekend. And you know, just be good, behave, don't be a wreck like the Hart family, right? Sundays would please meet you. What you did is amazing. Amazing. Enjoy life. Alma Network, once again, big shout out to you. Thank you for consistently joining my show. I definitely appreciate it. So maybe I should feature your channel on mine, which I think I'm going to take care of it right now, because I know you've been participating quite a bit. So guys, no point of repeating myself. I think I'm already drunk at this point. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your time with your family, friends, and just be safe. Thank you.